Okay, members and friends. I just got off the phone with my daughter. She actually came here last night at 2:30 in the morning or whatever it was. She got a snack and a video and a card game, you know, ABC card games for her son to have their visit today because they put him in a room with minimal amount of toys and nothing to do. So she, and then they also required the mom to bring the snack by, you know, are you going to bring snack next time you come to visit the baby in the office, or shall we provide the snack? And their snack was pretty meager, so I guess she's required to bring in snack 2 times a week for 2 hours. But anyway, so she came here last night, and, you know, she said, Mom, I think I'm going to, you know, sign over custody for you. And I said, only 6 months, Sierra. That's, you know, just 6 months, right? And we'll see how it goes, right? And she got her snack and got the cards and left and whatever. So for today, you know, my younger girls wanted to go and see him, right? And I mean, everybody's confused. None of us really know what to do here. Like, we're just so flabbergasted with this whole situation. We're in shock. We're getting sick. Like, we're getting, my daughter's not doing her exams in high school, and she's almost a 4.0 average, but she's passing up on all her exams because, you know, they're doing the petition and all this other stuff. And social worker booked in an appointment tomorrow for my 17-year-old and my 14-year-old to go into the office and talk about visiting their nephew, because she wouldn't allow them to see them today when they showed up at noontime for my oldest daughter's scheduled visit. And then it turned out that my older daughter had canceled the appointment because I guess somehow they got on the phone, and before, you know, 12 o'clock came along, this social worker informed my daughter that my daughter no longer has custody. We haven't even gone to court yet. Yeah, it's not even Thursday. But here's the thing. We went to court on Tuesday because social worker told her to go to court. We go to court, we rush there, I have video of that, to do nothing, really. I've seen duty counsel. And she tried to connect with the lawyer, which I don't think happened. And then we were told to go back the following day. So that's 2 days of court, right? So we get there. We know what happens with that because you've seen the video. If not, you can go and watch it. And they put it off till Thursday, the 24th of this month, to put their case forward because it's hidden behind Form A. And it's something against me because they took him out of my care while they were doing their, you know, security checks and reference checks and all this other crap, right? And the home visit was supposed to come after those were done because they'd already done the home visit when they kicked out my daughter, and they have been in my home before, so it's not like they don't know the home and the circumstances of the home. And so anyway, the duty counsel there on that day, this, you know, the Wednesday, the Thursday, right, 17th, she said, well, you know, there's a party of this and something of that, and but go to legal aid and go make an application for a lawyer. But I can tell you it's no good news. You're looking at 3 months to kind of get used to it. And therefore, you should go see a lawyer. And I'm like, okay. Remember, I'm in shock here, okay? And panic and grief and just everything. So I take my daughter, I do the things that she needs to do. You know, I try and get to the legal aid, fill out the application, but of course, you know, my daughter's stuff is important because I had to do with social services because they wanted this and they wanted that, and my daughter's on foot, so of course I drove her, right, to help her with the things that the social worker wanted done, like clothes dropped off and, you know, and all this other stuff, right? So, you know, I took her home, got his clothes, some of them, not all of them, you know, and took her and let her take them in, and you've seen that video, right? So by the time I got back to legal aid, it was too late. It was 3 o'clock, and they wouldn't let me see anybody. The next day I was totally exhausted and, you know, totally overwhelmed, so I kind of like tried to rest a little bit. And you have to remember, I'm not eating very much here, okay, because I'm so depressed with this situation. And so the following day I managed to make it back to legal aid, gave them what they needed, which was a, you know, proof of income. And then because it was a Friday, she said, well, I'll call you on Monday. And of course, we know that they called me on Monday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to tell me that I didn't qualify for legal aid because the Ministry of Children and Development weren't going to pay for it because they apprehended him from my care. And the only thing I ever signed was the daycare papers because I was insisted to sign them because I had to enroll him. So if they want to say he was in my care because they made me sign him up, they wanted him in January 1st in daycare. By the time after the holidays and everything, he got there in January 7th. And as I was filling out the papers, I was required to sign them in order to enroll him into the daycare. So that's the only thing I ever signed as a guardian. And that's because I was forced to do it because I was told that if I didn't take him to daycare by that date, that they were going to come in here and take him away. Because it's been one threat after another threat after another threat until they managed to worm themselves into a position where they did some wheeling and dealing behind court doors and managed to fill out another form that the provincial BC Liberal government provided for them to take custody without going to court based on some, allegations of under Form A against me that I don't even know what I'm being charged with and convicted for and punished for. So where does that put me? Well, I said to my dad, I'm really tired, whatever, I got photocopying to do, but wake me up because I'm going to have a date today. It's been a hard day, right? But wake me up no matter what. I'll go to the courthouse at 9:30 in the morning and I'll do what that legal aid duty worker said, to go fill out the form that I should have filled out on the Tuesday of last week when I was there because maybe I'd be on the table this week. But because the duty council steered me in the wrong direction and convinced me that I had nothing to look forward to, that this was a 3-month done deal to begin with, that my best chance was to go get a lawyer ASAP, and that's what I did. I tried to get a lawyer ASAP instead of filling out some being in a party of whatever so that maybe I had a week to, get on the table if they didn't put my paperwork in the back and hide it. So I'm going to fill out that. I'm going to fill out an application for custody. But now I'm not fighting my daughter. Not that I ever wanted to fight her. Never did. But I'm fighting the Ministry of Children and Family Development and a 21-year-old social worker that's no older than 26 with her supervisor in a hot spot of all of Canada where baby brokering is going on. The foster parents have a guaranteed income of over $2,000 a month watching my grandson while they dope him up to put it on files that he's not acting normal, so they can continue to milk the system. That's the truth. I have been charged, prosecuted, convicted, and now sentenced, all behind Form A that has effectively erased my daughter's rights, my rights as a grandparent and looking after him, and being his biological blood, has wiped out the rights of his aunties who were refused to let them see him today, and this woman is inviting them into the office so she can start playing mind games with my kids to upset them even more and tease them like they're teasing the mother, like they're teasing me, like they're teasing the uncles in the house. Will they move him away somewhere else to a different home? Bury him in the system? So they can say that they're protecting him? From what? Nobody's telling us what we did wrong. They've just taken him away. I'm waiting for the cops to show up and arrest me. And instead of throwing me in jail, what, they're going to throw me off the fucking bridge? Like, what kind of justice system do we have here? What kind of family system do we have here? Like, this is awful. This is devil worshipping. This is child sacrifice. This is a blood sacrifice. And it's being done by devil worshippers. Overzealot, religious, governmental organization that has a lockdown on Surrey. And if it has a lockdown on Surrey, through the legislation, through the House of Parliament, it's through the whole freaking province. And if it spreads out across Canada, it will become a cancer, like it is in the United States. Because this is where it came from. This legislation came from the United States under the Bush administration when he tweaked Bill Clinton's welfare reform package from 1999. But it was Bill Clinton brought it in 1999, signed the initial welfare to reform, but they needed a Republican to go in there and do the dirty work. So he came in 2000 and whatever it was, and revamped made it harder, and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, swallow your bitter pill, and then they started selling it off to whatever state or province they could pass it on to, and my province happened to be one of them. And that's why we went from the lowest child poverty in all of Canada in 1999 all the way up to the highest child poverty in 2013. And this is being done by religious zealots that hide behind a government to use their power. So I'm waiting to go to jail for something I don't even know what I've done yet. Because I'm being treated like a criminal, and so is my grandchild, and so the rest of my family. And I'm really concerned about my daughters walking into that office trying to make an arrangement to make an appointment with a woman that sits there and obviously has a mental illness. When I used to live at Gateway Place in the courtyard, and I'd go out and I'd, do the things with the kids, painting, music, swimming pools, snacks, making birdhouses, playing, tug of war, whatever it was I was doing out there with the kids. I had anywhere from 15 to 50 kids at one time. It used to drive the white people crazy. The white racist people that didn't like the little African kids that lived in the complex and then were having fun. And of course, not every white person that lived in that complex had issues, right? But there was like a small handful that were the biggest bullies on the block and ruined it for everybody. And one of them happened to be my neighbor that lived right next door, and the lady is cuckoo. And the guy that lived below me, I just ran into him like 3-4 weeks ago, and he said, you're right. There's something wrong with that woman, because she used to come out and stand with her video and watch me and, near the end call the cops on me and, cause a big scene. I used to go do metal recycling, did the best I could to make a little money, show, leadership, that kind of thing. Call me a garbage picker, tried to find the kids that would, side with her. And then before you know it, hey, garbage picker, as I'm driving, never mind, I take that $300-400 that I made with metal recycling and buy things for the kids to do out in the courtyard. It costs money for paint. It costs money for food. Some of these children came from refugee camps, right? That the religious people go in there and they bring the religion, they sit them down because they can't speak English, but they didn't come out and help me. But some of these children, they don't know what a watermelon is. They didn't know what a cantaloupe was. They didn't know what an apple was, because the best they were getting was a jug of sour milk in a freaking 100,000 refugee camp sitting up in Tanzania. While the white parents that had a problem, or just white people that had a problem with going out there and doing positive things in the community, trying everything in the book to shut me down. Eventually, I got kicked out of there. They used to throw crap on my doorknob and try and plug up my mailbox, and, one through hot water, boiling hot, well, not boiling, but hot water from the tap at my daughter as she was coming in to go up into her apartment. This is the same kind of stuff with the ministry, with these workers. Same kind of people, same kind of mentality. So, my daughter has lost custody through some unforeseen piece of paperwork that we don't know nothing about yet. Her lawyer has gone silent. I'm now fighting the Ministry of Children and Family Development for custody. And we already know I'm disenfranchised. And they're banking the money. They're banking the money. They're making arrangements to pay these foster parents a given income so that they can budget around their mortgages, while they single out another vulnerable family because of the high drug addiction in this community, and teens coming in pregnant too, while with these unsuspecting grandmas stepping up to the plate, doing everything that they can possibly do, just like me, to find out at the end the grandmas are going to be treated like me when the welfare, social services doesn't want or need the grandma anymore. And I know this is not the first time they've done it, but this is probably the first time it's coming out into the public, and it's going to remain a public debate. And of course my family will be stereotyped into some classified psychiatric opinion of college and university educated students who are devil worshippers.